over to you now. So let me ask you this: how come those who do not agree to the leftist media, as Vinitji pointed out, if I don't say what you want me to say, you're cancelled. There is a cancel culture nowadays, going on the online social media. So why is it that all the editors and journalists like Arnab are cancelled, the Republic TV is cancelled? So just because I don't say what you want me to say or what you want to hear, something that does not fit your narrative. So does that make me an outcast, just like we are seeing with Arnab? And it is very shocking to see. I was just reading a tweet today by Arfa Khanam Sherwani. I don't know why she has become the center point of today's conversation, but it's actually her own doing, because she said that nothing has changed. Nothing. He's the same megalomaniac, deranged man. These are the exact words that she used without tagging Arnab. She is a journalist herself, or that's what she likes to call herself. So how come is that Rana Ayub, Barfa Khanam, Sherwani, and all journalists, let's say from NDTV, which so-called are the flag bearers of independent media, progressive media, nobody has actually voiced their opinion that you might not like Arnab, you might not like his style of hosting debates or probably his approach towards debates. That's okay, but at the end of the day, he's a journalist himself. Now, he might not have gone to the Jamia Millia University and done a mass communication course like Barkha Dutt, for example, and he might not be on the payroll of George Soros, he might not be on payroll of the Communist Party of China, but he is a journalist nonetheless. You might have differences, but you cannot celebrate a journalist going to jail like that. So why is it so? Please share your thoughts on this.
Thank you, Vivek, first of all, and I'd like to congratulate both Vinit ji and Kapil Mishra ji for BJP's success in Bihar. I think it all reflects grassroots politics and because of the Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. Now, I've been listening very intently to what Kapil Mishra ji said and Vinit ji said, and I think this India which we are talking about right now in 2020 is a new India. This is an India which does not pull back. This is an India which is like a Muhammad Ali, which goes for the killer punch. And a lot of people don't like it. We are not apologetic like what we were earlier. We are quite brave. We are quite upfront. And that's, I think, the tipping point here has been Arnab Goswami somewhere. So Arnab Goswami getting picked up, getting assaulted by 17 policemen with heavy duties, 10 guns in his house, his son getting assaulted, his wife getting assaulted. Everybody saw it on prime time, right? Everybody saw it on TV. And that's just one channel. I have to also tell you this, Republic TV, if you notice, Arnab Goswami is not there on social media. And there was a fake news which was created saying he was on social media. He was trying to use a phone when he was in jail, which was created by the rival TV channels. Now, obviously, when you're a statement of truth, when you're a apostle of truth, there are a lot of people who will try to pull you down because you're not like others. And Arnab Goswami is a self-starter like a lot of us out here. He started Republic TV 3 years back on his own, and he's his viewership, his TRP data, everything is up there for everyone to see. For for example, if I come on the debate and it goes live on YouTube, the number of views it gets is much more than an NDTV or any other channel, which goes without saying. So obviously, there's a lot of jealousy at play. But this is a larger picture. Arnab Goswami stands for India. He stands for all of us, and somewhere I believe what has happened with him is reflection of what's happening around the world. Joe Biden got elected as the president of America. Kamala Harris becomes the vice president. People in India, the liberal people, talk about the fact that, oh my God, she's broken the glass hierarchy. They don't look towards India. India, you've got so many women leaders. They don't look at that. We've got Mamata Banerjee on one side. We've got Jayalalitha. We've got so many women entrepreneurs. We've got the likes of Sudha Murthy. We've got Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. You need to look inwards. The problem is we are a very hypocritical country, India. Hypocrisy runs in our veins, unfortunately. And these same people who praise our Western counterparts saying, देखो US में ऐसा हो रहा है, US में elections are so, they've done it so well. They don't talk about the elections which happened in Bihar, which was done in such a nice manner. Every hour they were giving a minute-to-minute update. So I think the problem is it's like a frog mentality where they don't want to see what's happening within India because they have blinders on. Now, I'll give you another example. When Arnab Goswami went in jail, Barkha Dutt had put a tweet out saying that, today I'm going to have ice cream. Yesterday, when he came out of jail, I sent a message to her, we're going to have a tub of ice cream today because Arnab Goswami is out. So I don't understand this. You might hate him, you might like him because he's loud, that's the style of journalism. but you can't wish so much of ill will for somebody, right? That is, I think, see, we all hate people, but we can't be so bad that you wish so much of hatred for somebody. I think it's beyond a certain level, and you also realize that the narrative they're trying to build around you is something totally different. That that you should not be proud of your culture. They don't like the fact that Yogi Adityanath wears robes and governs Uttar Pradesh. They don't like the fact that Mr. Modi goes to Ayodhya and does the puja. We are proud of our culture. Hinduism is not a religion. Hinduism is a way of life, and that's how it is. Hinduism is such a tolerant religion, and it's not just in India. Across the world, people know about it. Now, Vineet Goenka sir was talking about China. Sir, I had been to China, Shanghai recently last year, just before the coronavirus thing came in, and Modi ji's mugshot was there across all the newspapers, and they are very very. So China is very hardworking, very industrious. I've been to the Great Wall of China also, but they cannot negotiate with an Indian. When you're buying products from them, they are very clear that they cannot negotiate with us Indians, because Indians are one level. For them, the only competition is India. And Indians need to understand that, because we, I think, are a shining light in this entire world. Now, because of coronavirus, the world has become a smaller place. The boundaries have become smaller. And even media, I think there should be a need for an independent media, which is not creating a narrative of their own. Like sir was talking about Madhu Trayan. Madhu Trayan, I remember, if I'm not mistaken, had created this channel called News Track when we were growing up in Delhi. And News Track had this very, people talk about the golden days when, Delhi Doordarshan news recorders used to read and used to look good, but that's about it. We never got real news. What we are having right now is news, though it's a lot of news which is coming towards us, but this is news which we want, because we need to know what is right and what is wrong. Now, the second point, people talk a lot about fake news. The people who create fake news are the likes of Rajdeep Sardesai, the likes of Barkadat, because they want to create a certain narrative. And narrative is something which is very strong. If you're into storytelling, if you're writing books, if you're on TV, there's a certain narrative you build and people buy that. It's as simple as that if you look at movies. Now, in the case of Arnab Goswami, he has tried to expose the drug culture. He has tried to expose how nepotism works in the industry. He has taken on many people one-on-one. If you look at it, he's taken on, and he's just a journalist. He's not a Amitabh Bachchan. He's not an Akshay Kumar. Kuch nahi. He's just a regular journalist who does his job in the most straightforward manner. People like him. People hate him. People think he's argumentative. But at the end of the day, he's a nationalist. He's a patriotic guy. Yesterday, when he came out of jail, I know of a lot of people who were crying, who had done prayers for Arnab Goswami. I'm talking about people, not just Hindus. I'm talking people across all caste, creed, or religion. People had gone to the church. People had gone to the mosque. There were people who had done fast just for Arnab. This is not somebody they go meet every day. Arnab Goswami is somebody they see on TV. Max to max 2 to 3 hours every day. What is the connection between Arnab Goswami and somebody who's at the lowest common denominator? It could be somebody in somewhere in Masoodpur in Delhi, or somebody in Sydney, in Hornsby. What is the reason? The reason is because Arnab Goswami resonates with all of us. I think he is not a soch. I feel Arnab Goswami is not just a person. Like they said in this movie Sarkar, Ram Gopal Verma movie, Sarkar ek soch hai. In that same way, Arnab Goswami is what all Indian is. Like what Kapil Mishra ji is, Goenka ji is, what Vivek is, everybody. He's somebody who exemplifies India. He's somebody who's a lot like me, because I believe what I stand for, and I'm not apologetic about it. I believe in the spirit of India. I am a cosmopolitan global citizen. I've traveled around the world. I traveled to places as versatile as New York, Australia, Shanghai, London, and everybody in some form is jealous of India. And India doesn't need to be so inferior. I think we have been brought up in this culture that we should be, we should have a very subservient culture. Angrez aake chale gaye. We read things what the Angrez did, and we should always be like this. That is not the way, because I think this India which we're talking about right now is India which is just striking out, and people don't like it. This India is loud. This India is very colorful. This India understands cultures, and this India is about Hinduism, which is not a religion at all. It is a way of life. And somewhere I realized that, when I go for these debates in the various channels, ultimately it's about storytelling. Ultimately it's about understanding what India is all about. And I think with Arnab Goswami being put in jail for 8 days, there was a time when we were all feeling very helpless. We were feeling very frustrated. And we were like, kya ho raha hai democracy mein? And log gali bhi de rahe the, right, to all the political parties. parties. Kapil Mishra ji, everybody. So it's not it's not just to one party, but everybody. Like what are our elected representatives doing? And I know Kapil Mishra ji had gone and done a silent march, and we saw visuals of him in the bus, and we know that he's always been fighting for us. But the point is, as a citizen, you get scared. Yeah, if this can happen to Arnab Goswami, who supposedly is very close to Modi ji and Amit Shah, which a narrative which is created by the likes of Rajdeep Sardesai, Barka Dutt, हमारे साथ क्या होगा? People are scared. People are like, oh my God, this is helplessness at its worst. And because the frustration was so much, for 8 days, you see those visuals of him, so when Arnab Goswami is always like this, and suddenly you see a visual of him like this, you're like, what has happened to this guy? And you are thinking, what will happen to him if he comes out? Will he be the same Arnab Goswami? Will he be the same Indian like what all of us are, which is strong, confident, bold? Or will he be a little more scared? Because police ki maar padi hai, kya pata, nobody knows what has happened. The day he came out, that is yesterday, the kind of, I know a lot of people who would have slept well yesterday. Kapil Mishra ji would have slept well yesterday, Vinit ji would have slept well yesterday, because there was a sense of happiness. Because the Chief Justice of India has spoken. And how is he spoken, right? That is, we know that democracy, India's democracy is the most thriving democracy, is the largest democracy, and people know what India's democracy is all about. We are built on that democracy platform. Yesterday, when he came out, the outpouring of emotion, it was more than a Bollywood superstar. I can tell you, even his detractors must have been watching TV yesterday. And then this man goes to the studio and he says, my voice is not fine. And then he starts talking. And when he starts talking, he talks like somebody who's never been in jail for 8 days because itna energy usme. And with that energy, his entire team is inspired. Now that inspiration is what rubs on of all of us, because that's India for you. India energy is very infectious. There are good things and there are bad things. But we are all striving to make this India very inclusive. And there are obviously detractors. There are obviously people who don't like this concept of India. They don't want, and like Sir told, there are enemies within. Sir, surely there are enemies within. There are 100% there are enemies within our India, our wonderful India, across India and across the world. But if we don't take care of these enemies, nobody else will. And, this is an India where, we need to respect our army men more. We need to respect our armed forces more. We need to respect our doctors more. We need to respect our leadership more. The problem is here, this is an India where everybody gives galis to the Prime Minister of India. So कुछ भी बोलते हैं, चौकीदार बोलते हैं, सब कुछ बोलते हैं. लेकिन चौकीदार जीत गया इलेक्शन. ये लोग बोलते हैं जो गाली देते हैं, they have not won a single election, single council election on their own. ये लोग खाली मतलब you can see leadership is not something which is built today. It happens over a period of time, and we have seen that with the Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi, or with all the leaders we have had so far. India has always been very active, very democratic, and India has always been united. Somewhere there are some negative forces within India who don't want this to happen, who don't want this unifying thing to happen. With Arnab Goswami getting into jail, coming out of jail, I feel it has unified Indians, not just in India, but across the world. Because the spirit of justice is very omnipresent everywhere else. Everybody feels the same. But that hypocrisy should also be broken. Saying that, Kamala Harris has become is an Indian. She's never told anybody she's an Indian. We have already told that she's become an Indian for us. Usne bola hi nahi kisi ko ki wo Indian hai. We are talking about a favorite dish. Or even with Joe Biden winning elections, people are talking about Donald Trump right now. We are talking about the US, but we need to look inward. Inward in India, there is so much. India as a culture, India as a religion, India as a country is so versatile. As in, I am proud to be an Indian. I am absolutely proud to be an Indian. As in spite of everything what's happening around us, India is like a shining light in these COVID-19 times. As in, everybody's looking towards it. Like I've been to Sydney, and I've seen the Indian diaspora there. Everybody out there is very concerned about what's happening in India. And I think the way it works with India is, India is a melting point of culture. India is a melting point of emotions. India is like a proper movie. And now the people who are feeling really jealous of the entire thing are your film stars. The film stars are feeling scared now. Ki ab kya kare? How do we promote a film? Because people are now able to see through everything now. So because of superstars like Kapil Mishra ji, so because of superstars like Vinit sir, like all of you, I think, somewhere they are the flag bearers of the modern or the new India. This new India which does not give up, which does not hesitate, which stand up for what it believes is right. A new India which is inclusive, a new India which has always been democratic, an India which does not believe in nepotism, but believes in ability, agility, and endurance. That's what I believe this India is all about. And I think this is a tipping point. this day, I think I was telling yesterday, this day, November 10th, is a tipping point for India. This things will change completely sooner or later, 100%.
Thank you so much, Shikharji, for your inspiring thoughts.